Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon, depending on what side of the pond you're on. And welcome to Across the Pitch, Across the Pub. My name is Phil Kennedy, and I'm here with co-hosts Tony Robinson and Darren Woodhead. We have an extra special episode today as we do our February pub chat, where we go over all things Accrington Stanley. We also have some fun stuff planned today. And a special guest interview that we're also going to introduce during this show. So let's get started, guys. Darren and Tony, how are you guys today?
Hi, Phil. Hi, Tony. All good.
Yeah, same here, Phil and Darren. I'm doing well. Thawing out a bit. We've still got a bunch of snow on the ground, but it is what it is, and you just got to get on with it. And you two rays of sunshine bring some warmth to my day.
Didn't know you cared.
Well, it's actually.
I used to write for Hallmark.
It's actually 50 degrees Fahrenheit and raining here in Phoenix, which is a cold, rainy day here. But luckily we have Tony with his hot jalapeno warmth.
Yeah, blow it out your
warm
shorts.
us up. What's the weather like in Accrington, Darren?
Somewhere in between what you guys have got. No, it's not too bad. It's picking up slightly now, so we're not too bad.
Well, we had a rather difficult result last night against Doncaster, and actually two difficult results in a row where two very different games where, I think that the Doncaster match, that's one where, if you watch the game and if you look at the stats, you wonder just, how the heck did Stanley lose? How the heck did Stanley not score yesterday? What were your guys' thoughts after the match?
Well, for me, guys, I thought, to quote the famous baseball player from the Yankees, Yogi Berra, not Yogi Bear, Yogi Berra, who said deja vu all over again, because I thought the match last night was exactly, you could see it panning out the exact same way as the Cambridge match. Dominated first half, lots of shots, not really a lot of troublesome on target ones, but you could just see it panning out the same way, and it was disappointing and just not clinical. Just didn't seem to be. It seemed to be disconnected in some way. I just couldn't put my finger on it, but disappointing performance to say the least.
Yeah, I've got to be honest. I didn't see the game last night. I saw the one at the weekend, and by all accounts, yesterday was the same. There's just, like Tony said, there's just something missing. If you look at how many good players we've got, it just doesn't make sense. We've had teams that have performed better than this when we haven't had the individuals, in the lineup. It's just baffling at times, and I'm sure there's nobody more baffled than John Coleman at the moment. But it just goes to show what people's expectations are like now. When you had a look at Twitter last night, and a lot of the negative comments, even though we're still mid-table in League One, which, it's human nature though. If we get beat, we all feel it. And two defeats on the bounce, it's got everyone a little bit down.
It's just been such a Jekyll and Hyde season. It's like every time you think that we've turned the corner, two bad matches in a row, especially against teams we thought we might get a result against. And what I really noticed is that the Cambridge match, Tony and I talked about this a lot last year, where it was shot percentage and working to get good shots. And the thing that really jumped out to me at the Cambridge match is at one point we had 15 shots and none on target, only ended up with 3 shots out of over 20 that ended up on target, and it just seems like you never win with that kind of a percentage. Now, against Doncaster, they did manage 9 shots on target, and with the Doncaster match, you do kind of have to mention sometimes when you tip your hat to a goalkeeper who made a good effort. And one thing I've noticed is Doncaster, they've definitely struggled this year. They've especially struggled on defense, averaging 1.89 goals allowed per game, which is not anywhere near a number that you want. However, they'd had two goalkeepers kind of splitting time. They just really weren't getting the job done. But back in January, they signed Jonathan Mitchell from Hartlepool. He ended up making 9 saves to get the clean sheet against Stanley. He's got a 73% save percentage in 7 matches since joining Doncaster. So he seems to be just what the doctor ordered. And with him in net, maybe Doncaster is a little bit different team than their record reflects.
Well, I think he was a bit, I'd say edgy. I think he could have been had yesterday if they would have been more clinical in the box. And I just haven't seen that chemistry yet with Cody and Colby up front, because it just doesn't seem to be clicking yet. And I got to say that the chemistry on the pitch, and Darren alluded to when he said there's something just not there. And I just don't see that chemistry, because you don't get that smooth rhythm of play. You get stretches of it where they seem to click, and then you seem to go for periods of time where it's just like Sunday morning football, and it's just a bit it's a bit concerning, the inconsistency with the talent that's on the pitch. It's almost like get the same side, get the same formation, and let them work it out, because we're changing things. And anyway, it was a frustrating watch to last night. I was more frustrated after watching last night, because I think the expectations are that we beat those teams in the lower end of the division, and more times than not, we seem to come up short.
I think once we get enough points and we're safe, I think you'll see John and Jimmy make some big changes in tactics and a few personnel, and just really, tinker with it and try new things ready for next season, hopefully. I'm not being, too presumptuous that we're going to make it this year, but hopefully we will. And then I think, because we just can't go on with this, like you say, inconsistency, Tony, just going into next year, because it's not as though we need to get rid of a lot of players, because we've got a really good squad. So it's just down to tactics and then partnerships within that team and people gelling, I think.
I think we just need another 8 to 10 points, probably in that range. I think 52 is sort of a number that seems to crop up, and we're at 43 now. So, we've got to get, like you say, get to that number sooner than. I don't think we're in a relegation battle. I just think it's a question of how far up in the mid-table we can finish. We need to get some points.
Yeah, it's just you never breathe that sigh of relief until you mathematically know that you're staying up for that year. And, the inconsistency, it is just worrisome, because, we've seen, Stanley go through a 6 or 7 game stretch where they don't get any points, or, at least say aren't getting anything more than a draw. And it's concerning that if something does happen like that this late in the season, that we could find ourselves in a relegation battle.
Yeah, well, hopefully, fingers crossed. I think we've got enough about us to start pulling away in the next few weeks.
Yeah.
One thing we were going to talk about while we've been on our group chats and recent topics that we have had of crowd invasions, and we know what happened at Rotherham. We were going to have a discussion around that tonight, weren't we, guys?
Yeah,
I think that
this is something that's been hard to find. When you try and find out the results of, they're supposed to, do some investigation, and I know initially after the Rotherham match, they got the 2 individuals and they banned them. I don't know. I haven't heard if the actual one person if he was charged with assault or not, because I think he could have been, but it's hard to find what happened as a result of that, and if the league has come down on Rotherham, because Rotherham's got history, not only this season, but in the past. And what's the EFL policy on this, and what's the ramifications? Because something's got to happen to the clubs, or else this is going to just get worse.
Yeah, and we saw, well, I don't know, so I couldn't say copycat, but a theme of it, didn't we? On that particular weekend, there was a few instances and incidents. I think it was Derby County. The other guy who, attacked a player in a game. Derby and Leicester in a FA Cup game.
Was it Notts Forest and Leicester? Was it?
Oh yeah, Notts Forest and Leicester. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, that was that's something's got to happen. And the problem, as I said, you just don't hear of what the punishments are. I think it's got to be laid out. Do they start taking? I know they're going to. Well, I don't know. I'm assuming they fine the club, but then there should be a progression. If they fine a club, it happens again. Points should be deducted. I don't know if the points from that match or right off the table, but something's got to happen where you punish the team.
Yeah, is it something you'd ever see in US sports, Phil? Do you get pitch invasions or individuals coming into the field of play?
I mean, I'd say yes, but far and few between. The incident that always kind of, I think, too, with stuff like this happens, it happened in, I want to say, about 2005. There was a basketball game between the Detroit Pistons and the Indiana Pacers. And I just looked up, the guy's name was John Green, was a fan. He threw a beer onto one of the players, and then the players ended up going into the stands, and there was just this massive fight between the players and the fans, and and several of the players got suspended for a year. I just looked up John Green, the guy that threw the beer. He ended up with a 30-day jail sentence, 2 years probation, guilty of assault and battery. And so he just threw the beer on there. He didn't actually go onto the court. Then the players actually went into the stands in that situation.
Phil, was one of the players called, his legal name was World Peace? Is that the incident?
Okay, well, at that time, yeah. So Ron Artest is who you're talking about, okay. and at that time, his name was still Ron Artest. And then he later changed his name to Meta World Peace. Yeah.
Yeah. And because he couldn't have World Peace if he's going in the stands beating up fans.
I just read, it's funny here. This article says, I guess, Ron Artest or Meta World Peace and this John Green guy became friends after the incident.
Shared a cell together.
Yeah.
They must have went out drinking together. Ron Artest is the same guy that admitted in his autobiography that he used to drink a bottle of Hennessy at halftime.
Nice.
I know they don't have much of that in Canada. You certainly don't have any invasions in ice hockey, because as soon as they get on the ice, they go ass over tea kettle.
You wouldn't live to tell about it if
you
got under the hockey rink.
No, so it's non-existent in Canada.
But on a serious note, I mean, going back to watching football in the late 70s, early 80s, and they ended up putting cages and bars around the perimeter of the grounds back in those days. Well, with tragic ramifications, really, when you look at Hillsborough. And, so it just seems to be a little bit of a worrying trend that one or two idiots can, spoil everybody's fun and enjoyment, really. And it only takes one, idiot. Well, look at the tennis with Monica Seles, doesn't it? You just don't know what can happen to you.
No, and as I say, there's got to be punishments to the club, because especially for repeat offences, for clubs like, and I'm using Rotherham because they are the ones that we noticed the last time, and but there's got to be something done. You've got to stamp it out, because if you don't, it unfortunately will get worse, and we hope, touch wood, nobody gets injured.
Yeah, well said.
Yeah, I mean, you have to make an example of both the club and the individual to make sure it doesn't happen again.
Phil, I guess you have a surprise for us, do you?
Well, this was a discussion we had the other day, and it started out where I'd seen an article on the internet where they had some British people fill out a map of the United States to see, how well, British citizens knew the U.S. states. And I also saw like some European maps filled out with U.S. citizens of the different countries and things like that. And that got me thinking, so, we're well represented here with the U.S., Canada, and England here on the show. And in each country, we have here in the U.S., we have states. In Canada, you have provinces. And in England, you have counties.
Say that again. You have what?
Provinces?
No, drop the D. It's just a province. It's not like
provinces.
Provinces.
Okay, provinces. Yeah. Well, I'm already learning something.
So we know
it's a French thing, I think.
Well, we know who's not going to do well in that part of the competition.
Well, at least I'm the question asked.
Oh, okay.
He's writing the questions. He can't go wrong.
And then in England, we have counties. And then, of course, each country has their favorite type of football. So what I came up with was a little quiz where I am going to give the name of a football team, either an American football, Canadian football, or English football team. And then Darren and Tony will tell us the state, province, or county that the respective team plays in. If they can answer this without a clue, they get 2 points. If they need a clue, it's 1 point. And then at the end, the winner who has the most points will get a pint of Aki Ale.
There we go. Say, like $1,000 then, or something like
that. Give me a second.
We're gonna. We'll start out with an easy one, and this is from the English football, Derby County.
Okay, so that'll be Derbyshire.
Oh, there's 2 points. Like I said, I was going to start off with an easy one. So
I knew that. I knew that. I didn't know we had to go by buzzer. I was waiting to let him go. Darren go first.
I got in for the only one that I'm going to know.
All right. Well, okay. Do I get a point for saying Derbyshire?
Yeah, you can have a point.
All right.
We'll let you take this first guess at the next one, and then So I'm just going to ask the question, and then you guys can jump in.
All right.
We'll go with a Canadian football one to make it for Tony here. The Edmonton Elks.
I'll let Darren give a stab at that one.
Edmonton. I have no idea.
Would you like a clue, Darren?
Yeah, give us a clue, and I probably still won't know. But go on.
It's named after a prince, and he's known for having a can of tobacco.
Time's up. I'm going to go with Alberta.
You got it.
Right, I have no idea. No,
that'd be Prince Albert in a can.
Well,
right. Okay.
They just actually, you know what? If you'd have said Edmonton Eskimos, you might have got it, because they changed the name from Eskimos because it was offensive to Indigenous people, and so they're now called the Edmonton Elks.
Oh, right. Yeah, I did read on that actually. Yeah.
Next one.
Quite recent, that, isn't it? Yeah.
Just last season. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a bonus point for knowing that the old name was the Edmonton Eskimos, Tony, and that's going to tie us at 2 because you got 1 point since the clue had been given, and then a bonus point. Now we're going to move on to American football, and we're going to go with the Super Bowl champion Los Angeles Rams.
California.
Yeah.
That's it. 2 points for Tony. California, Los Angeles Rams. All right. The next one, we're going to go back to English football, Blackburn Rovers.
Oh, well, go on, Darren. I'll give you that one.
That's too easy, that one, isn't it? Yeah, it's Lancashire. But I'll throw in a little one that I was looking at earlier today, Phil.
Okay.
And for you. So there's a club currently playing in the county of Cumbria, who used to be in Lancashire. Do you know who they are?
Oh boy.
So it's the county of Cumbria now, but the historic county of Lancashire playing in the Football League.
I'm going to take a stab at it if you don't get it, Phil.
Tony, you get this. I feel like I've heard this before, but I don't. It's not on the tip of my tongue or anything.
I'll go with Carlisle.
Nope.
Mm.
No.
Oh, that's
No.
way north. That's too far.
A clue, right? You've got a clue. They're in League Two.
Yeah.
Oh, Barrow.
Yes, Barrow.
Oh, is it? Wow,
yeah,
I would have.
yeah.
I would have. I was almost going to say that, and then okay, that.
Oh yeah, sure you were, Phil. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Like
the
me
only
with- like
team in
me with the-
Cumbria I know. So that.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, I thought you'd get it actually, because you know them well. You've even had a guest on this show from Cumbria, haven't we?
Yes.
From Barrow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, let's go back to the Canadian football here. Montreal Alouettes.
You want to? You have any idea on that one, Darren?
Of what state Montreal's in?
No, province.
Province.
Province. Right.
It's en français.
It's the only French.
Quebec.
There you go.
There it is. There it
Should
is.
know that. My dad's actually working there,
Darren
so I
pulls
should
into
know.
the lead. Darren
Yeah.
pulls into the lead 6-4. Let's go back to American football. Las Vegas Raiders.
Nevada.
Oh, we have a tie game.
The gloves are off, Darren.
All right, we have 3 questions left. We have 1 English, 1 American, and 1 Canadian left. So that should break the tie here. Okay, so we're going to go back to Canada first for our final Canadian question. Is the Ottawa Redblacks.
We should have some music. The Jeopardy.
Give me a clue. Give me a clue. Give me a clue.
It's the capital of Canada. It's the capital.
Yeah, but that's the
Yes. This. How can you? Yeah.
That's not the province. Same province where I am, Darren.
It's named after a great
Ontario.
lake. There it
Ontario.
is. All right, so that's 1 point to Darren. 1 point to Darren. All right, so it's 7-6. And so we're going to go back to American football here, and then we'll finish off with an English football question. And the American football team that I'm going to give you, famous from Ace Ventura, the Miami Dolphins.
Florida.
Oh,
Tony, jumping in. 2 points. So
the only one that I would have got as well.
I know. Well, you're going to get the next one, so I had to get the lead.
Go on then.
All right, and the final one that I have, the English football, is Sunderland.
Tyneside.
Well, that's
no. Actually, it's Wayside.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right. What's the score?
So that was without a clue. So that I believe that makes it 9-8. Darren takes the win and the Aki Ale.
Okay, that's good. I've got a couple of bonus questions for you two guys that I've thrown together, which might be a bit of fun.
I'm not bothered.
Oh,
go on.
Tony's one of these guys. He won't let his kids win at anything. Are you one of those?
It's my bat ball. I'm going home.
Yeah. So, right, a League One club whose home is in Buckinghamshire.
Wickham.
Yes.
Well
Quite
done,
difficult
Tony.
on that. Yeah. And the second one is another League One club. They play in Suffolk.
That is Ipswich.
Yeah, well done. 1 each. We'll end it. We'll end it there. So there's no more arguments.
Well, that was a good bit of fun, and I think we all, probably learned a thing or two about geography. So.
Yeah, we learned there's no
stuff.
D in provinces.
Most importantly. We're going to finish up with some predictions for Saturday. Who wants to go first?
Yeah, I think it'll be a tough game, personally. Not too sure, but knowing what John and Jimmy are like and the conversations they've been having this week and getting into players and getting the senior players to get into other players, digging each other out, I think. And I expect us to win by a narrow margin, I think, 2-1 or 1-0 on Saturday.
Yeah, you know what? When you look where Wycombe are in the standings, you think, it would favor them, but we always play well against the top teams, especially at home. And Wycombe's form, right, in the last 5 matches is not that good. They're drawn 3 and lost 2, and they had a match that was 5-5 at Cheltenham. And their away form is, I think they're 6th, and their home form is 7. So everything points to a close match. And I like Darren's pick, but I'm going to be a little more conservative and go for a 2-2 draw.
Well, I kind of think that I'm on the winning track myself. It seems like every time that Stanley has some tough results like they have the past 2, they bounce back with a win. I do think it's going to be a tough one. I know that we've been having trouble scoring. We're going to need to keep Wycombe off the scoreboard. I think we do that. I'm going to call 1-0 to the Stanley.
Yep. Yeah, I think so. I don't think you will get too good odds on that. Me and you, Phil, 1-0. But I think you need to get big getting down to the bookies, Tony, where you crack your piggy bank open and get a few pence on 2-2. I think you'll get some good odds on that, to be honest, and you could be right.
Well, yeah, we'll see. I mean, I think they're going to start doing online betting in our province soon. So maybe if they have English football, I can have a flutter or 2.
Yeah.
One thing that. Go ahead.
Sorry. Is that available to you, Phil? Yet?
Finally, this year they've opened it up, and I can't bet on Stanley. I think I bet on him to make the playoffs last year. That didn't work out so well. Yeah.
Bet on them to win the Champions League within 10 years. See what odds you can get on that.
I just wanted to mention before we wrap up is in next week, I think we're recording with David Burgess, Managing Director of Stanley, and he's coming on to talk about the new facilities and the opening and what's going on there. And I know, Darren, you'll be dropping by at some point. What's your thoughts on things, and when are you going to be able to sort of partake in the new facilities?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I've been looking like everyone else with interest online. I had a quick look in probably 2 months ago when it was still a shell, but seeing what it's like in the last few weeks, it's unbelievable, isn't it? And yes, I will be there with a group of friends and the supporters club on the first day of the hospitality. I think it's the Charlton game in March. So I'm really looking forward to that, just to, go through the experience of watching a game in those new facilities. And I'm sure you'll be joining us when you come over, Tony, won't you, in the fall?
Yeah. I've already got an email into Sophie to sort of keep a couple of seats for me when I come over. And you know what? As long as they got Ackee Ale on, I'll be a happy camper. And I'm not going to be fussed. I mean, I know there's been conversations about certain types of beers on and things like that, but I think you should just be. I mean, the facilities are what's important. And, Edward's going to have a good time. The service is going to be good, the facilities and what they offer. So I'm looking forward to that. And, I think you'll have a good time, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. I mean, because I haven't seen any of it, and just to walk in when it's totally complete is going to be something I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, one of these days I will finally get over there and sample my first Ackee Ale, and I need to make it sooner rather than later.
Yep, definitely. We need you over, Phil.
Yep. Well, I didn't have it. I just wanted to sort of mention that about we got Dave Burgess on. Other than that, I'm fresh out of new stuff.
Well, I did just want to mention that we also have a fantastic interview with Daniel Bauerbeck that we did earlier today. That will be out along with this episode. I'm going to put both of them out at the same time. And I just wanted to say, guys, I had a lot of fun with the quiz and chatting up Accrington as always. And if you didn't have anything else, I'm ready to wrap up.
I'm working on a couple of players, and I'm just waiting to hear back and for player interviews. So I know we've been asked if we are going to be getting players on. We are working on it, and it just takes a little longer than normal sometimes when you're dealing with a player and going through the club. But we are actively pursuing some players, and once we got confirmation, we'll make the announcement.
Yeah, really looking forward. You've got 2 or 3 player interviews that you're working on, right, Tony?
Yeah, I got 3 names, and I've got okay from 2. It's just now a question of making the contact with each other and the arrangements. Yeah.
Brilliant. Darren, did you have anything else?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
All right. Well, then I think that we're ready on 3. 1, 2, 3. On Stanley on.
On Stanley on. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, fellas.